Hey guys, Ryan here from Indy Wrestling School, and what is my biggest pet peeve in independent professional wrestling? Coming up. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We put out new videos every single Thursday for 3-Minute Thursday. So a question I've seen a lot in the comments over the last couple weeks has been, what is your biggest pet peeve in professional wrestling? And it's kind of a two-part question. I mean, it's really the same answer. And I actually had this incident come up before and affected actual friendships because of it. I've not used people again because of it. It just drives me nuts. And that's just me. Everybody's got their own thing, but for me personally, the thing I hate the most is when somebody is there late or leaves early. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I understand if somebody's late because that messes up the show, but what does it matter if they leave early, they do their match, and they go home? And I'll get to that in a second. There's no excuse for being late for a wrestling show. You know when it is, you know how long it takes to get to the venue. You leave several hours before then. So if there's some kind of major traffic, you're making it there on time still. In 15 years, I've never been late for a pro wrestling show. If I can do it, all the guys can do it too. If I know the show's starting at 7 o'clock and it's an hour away from my house, show starts at 7, they're ringing the bell at 7, I'm getting there 2 hours beforehand. It takes an hour to get there, so I'm gonna leave an hour and a half. If the show was 3 hours away, I'm leaving 4.5, 5 hours early. And I'm still gonna have that 2 hours of being in the venue. The reason you need to get to the show early is that, number one, you're not worried about being late. Number two, you get to meet a lot of the people there. Number three, you're networking, you're getting in touch with people, you're making connections, you're having communication with the guys in the locker room. Whatever number I was at, you're meeting people. If there's anything that needs, God forbid, the ring breaks and they need extra hands, you're there. And I know there's so many guys who are lazy and don't want to help out with that stuff. And that makes a big difference in the promoter's eyes. If they see you hustling and you're helping out the show to make sure the show takes place, they're gonna remember that. The last thing the promoter wants to worry about on the day of the show is where the hell you are. So you need to get there early. Whether you're the sound guy, the referee, the ring announcer, the person taking the tickets, or a performer in the ring, you need to be there way ahead of schedule, so that's one less thing they need to worry about. And the other one that kind of throws people off is, what does it matter if I do my match and then I head home? Who's that hurting? Well, to me, that's hurting a lot of people. So if you're an experienced guy, let's say, maybe I had my match right after yours, but you left. I was planning on talking to you and hoping you were gonna watch my match so I can ask you for advice and pointers and suggestions and see what worked. I think what a lot of people forget is the guys in the back or the girls in the back, they're performing just as much for the people in the locker room as they are for the people in the crowds. And I know that's kind of a weird concept, but they wanna impress their peers. And the fact that if you're on match one, you have 20 people in the locker room watching your match, and they all leave, so if you're in the main event, nobody's there to watch your match, you're not getting advice, you're not getting feedback from anybody. To me, that's super unfair. So if you're an experienced guy and you're leaving and not passing down your knowledge and passing the stuff down to the next generation, not treating the business with the respect that it deserves and the respect that it gave you. Or maybe it didn't give you that respect, but you should make sure that the next generation gives that respect to the next one and the next one. And if you're a new guy and you do your match and leave, what the hell are you doing? You should be watching every single match before your match and after your match. There is no excuse for a new guy to leave after their match. There's none. So the example I alluded to before was that I had a friend of mine, we actually put in a big position in the company, World One, when I was running it. And he lost the belt very early and he was upset about it. So he knew my pet peeve was when people left early. Came up to me afterwards and said, hey, I gotta go pick somebody up at the airport. Did you just find out about this? And he said, no, I knew, which it was a lie, of course, but, you know, he was keeping up the lie. And he just said, no, I just found out, you know, I gotta go. And I just looked at him and I said, are you sure you want to do this? And he knew exactly what I meant, and he said, yep. So he left, and I called him, you know, a couple days after the show, met up with him and told him, unfortunately, I'm not gonna use you anymore. And he never worked another show for me. I just think it's so disrespectful. And that's just me. I mean, everybody's got their own little pet peeves. I ended up, we kind of made up a little bit years later, but he never worked one of my shows again. because I didn't have the faith in them anymore. So you're gonna find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. There's gonna be little things that annoy you. You can't take everything. I don't think you can take everything and blow it up into a big thing, but if you have one pet peeve, I think that's acceptable. I mean, we all have little nuances and little things that annoy us, and that just happens to be mine. So if you're ever wondering what's the quickest way for me not to book you, that would be it. Thanks guys for checking out this video. If you like this video, please subscribe below. I put out new videos every single Thursday for 3 Minute Thursday. Thanks for checking us out, and if you like it, beat the shit out of the like button, and I'll see you next week.